Luna pushed open the heavy oak doors of the town library, the cool air inside wrapping around her like a comforting embrace. She had always loved the library. It was her escape, her sanctuary. The towering shelves, stacked with books of every color and size, seemed to whisper secrets, calling her to explore their treasures. Today felt like any other visit, though Luna had no idea her life was about to change. She wandered past familiar sections, running her fingers over the spines of books she had read before. The children's section, filled with bright covers and bean bags, brought back memories of her younger self curled up with fairy tales. Now, at 13, Luna found herself drawn to the mysterious corners of the library, where the dust lingered and the air carried a sense of wonder. As she walked deeper into the rows, a soft golden glow caught her eye. It was faint at first, almost like a trick of the light, but it grew brighter as she approached. Tucked between two oversized encyclopedias was a book unlike any she had ever seen. Its leather-bound cover shimmered faintly, embossed with intricate patterns of stars and swirling lines. At the center, a single word gleamed: Adventures. Curiosity sparked. Luna reached out. The book felt warm under her fingers, almost alive. She glanced around, half expecting a librarian to appear and scold her for touching something so precious. But the aisle was empty, silent except for the distant hum of the library's lights. "What are you doing here?" Luna murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. The book seemed to answer, its glow pulsing gently as if inviting her to open it. Unable to resist, she carefully turned the cover. The pages inside were blank at first, but as Luna tilted the book toward the light, words began to appear, written in a language she couldn't recognize. The symbols danced and shifted, forming shapes and patterns that left her both mesmerized and confused. Then, as if responding to her bewilderment, the symbols morphed into English letters, arranging themselves into a sentence. "Open your heart, and the journey will begin." Luna blinked, her pulse quickening. Before she could process what was happening, the words on the page began to glow, spilling golden light across the aisle. The room seemed to tilt, the shelves and walls fading into a blur. She stumbled backward, clutching the book tightly, but the light wrapped around her like a warm cocoon. The last thing Luna saw before everything went dark was the shimmering title on the book's cover, now shining brighter than ever. Adventures, it seemed to say, not just as a title but as a promise. And then, with a sound like a soft sigh, the world disappeared. Luna blinked into the golden haze, her senses overwhelmed by the brightness. Gradually, the light began to fade, and she found herself standing in a completely different place. Gone were the towering bookshelves of the library. In their place stretched an endless meadow of soft, shimmering grass that seemed to sparkle under a sky painted with hues of gold and violet. She turned slowly, clutching the mysterious book to her chest. The air here was warm and smelled faintly of jasmine and rain. In the distance, she could make out towering mountains with peaks that pierced the clouds. To her right, a bubbling brook meandered through the meadow, its waters crystal clear and filled with tiny fish that glowed softly. "Where am I?" Luna murmured, her voice sounding small in the vast expanse. As if in answer, a soft rustling came from the tall grass behind her. Luna froze, her heart pounding. Slowly, she turned to see a figure emerging from the golden blades. It was a boy, about her age, with tousled brown hair and a bright, friendly smile. He wore simple clothes, trousers, and a tunic that looked like they belonged to another time. "Hello there," he called, raising a hand in greeting. "You must be new here." Luna hesitated, unsure of what to say. Hi. The boy's grin widened. Don't worry. It's a lot to take in at first. I'm Max. And you are? Luna, she said cautiously. Where am I? Max gestured grandly to the meadow around them. Welcome to the land of adventures. You're holding the key to this place. He pointed to the book still clutched in her hands. That's how you got here, right? Luna looked down at the book. Its cover now dim and unremarkable compared to the glow it had emitted in the library. I guess so, she said. But I don't understand. I was just at my library, and now. It's simple, Max interrupted. The book chose you. It only works for those ready to learn. Ready to learn? Luna echoed, confused. Learn what? Max stepped closer, his expression turning serious. This world is filled with challenges and puzzles, each designed to teach you something important. To leave, you'll need to complete them. Don't worry, he added with a reassuring smile. I'll help you. You're not alone. Luna felt a mix of unease and excitement. The idea of being stuck here was frightening. But there was something about Max's confidence that made her feel a little braver. So, where do we start? She asked. Max's face lit up. That's the spirit. First, let's cover the basics. You'll need to learn some phrases to communicate with the others here. Others? Luna asked, her curiosity piqued. Oh, you'll meet them soon enough, Max said with a wink. For now, let's try something simple. Repeat after me. Hello. Hello, Luna said, her voice uncertain. Great. Now, try this. My name is Luna. My name is Luna, she repeated, feeling a little silly. Perfect. And if I say, nice to meet you, you reply. Nice to meet you, too. Exactly. Max laughed. You're a natural. As they practiced, Luna couldn't help but smile. Max's enthusiasm was infectious, and for the first time since arriving, she felt a flicker of confidence. Maybe this wouldn't be so bad after all. Come on, Max said, gesturing for her to follow. There's a lot more to see, and we've got work to do. Your adventure is just beginning. Luna glanced down at the book in her hands. Its title, Adventures, seemed to glimmer faintly once more, as if encouraging her to move forward. Taking a deep breath, she stepped into the unknown, ready to see where this magical journey would lead. The meadow gave way to a dense forest as Luna and Max walked further into the land of adventures. Towering trees stretched high into the sky, their leaves glittering like emeralds under the warm light. The air smelled of pine and honey, and the faint sound of rustling leaves mixed with the chirping of unseen birds. This is the Forest of Words, Max explained, waving his hand toward the trees. Everything here is alive with language. Pay attention, and you'll learn new words faster than you think. Luna tilted her head, skeptical. Words? What kind of words? Simple ones at first, Max said, pointing to a tree nearby. Its bark was smooth and carved with glowing letters that spelled out, tree. As Luna stared, the word shimmered and shifted into other languages before settling back into English. Touch it, Max encouraged. Hesitant but curious, Luna reached out and placed her hand on the bark. Warmth spread through her fingers, and the word tree echoed softly in her mind, followed by its meaning. She pulled her hand back, wide-eyed. That was amazing. It's like the tree spoke to me. Max grinned. Exactly. This forest is full of words waiting to be discovered. Look around, and you'll see. Luna began to notice more glowing words scattered throughout the forest. A bush nearby glimmered with the word bush, and a sparkling stream revealed the word water etched into the stones at its edge. Each time she touched a word, it echoed in her mind, as though imprinting itself there permanently. "Let's practice," Max said, picking up a small rock from the ground. "What's this?" Luna squinted at the glowing letters now appearing on the rock's surface. "Rock. It's a rock," she said, her voice more confident. "Good. And this?" Max pointed to a tall, swaying plant. Luna reached out, and the word grass shimmered under her fingers. "Grass," she said, smiling. "Perfect. Now, let's put it all together. Repeat after me. This is a tree. This is a tree," Luna echoed. "This is grass," Max continued. "This is grass," Luna repeated, feeling the words settle in her memory. The lessons continued as they wandered deeper into the forest. Luna found herself naming everything she could see, from the flowers dotting the ground to the birds flitting overhead. "Flower," she said, touching a bright yellow bloom. "Bird," she added, pointing to a tiny creature with glowing feathers. "See, you're getting the hang of it," Max said proudly. "Words are the foundation of everything here. The more you know, the easier it'll be to navigate this world." As they walked, the forest began to change. The trees grew closer together, their leaves forming a canopy that dimmed the light. Luna noticed that the glowing words were becoming less frequent, replaced by strange symbols carved into the bark. She paused, frowning. "What are these?" Max's smile faded. "We're nearing the edge of the forest. The symbols mean it's time to move on. But don't worry, you've learned what you need for now." A hint of unease crept into Luna's chest, but she nodded. She glanced back at the part of the forest they had left behind, where words still shimmered in the distance. The forest of words had been comforting, almost familiar, but the path ahead felt uncertain. Max must have sensed her hesitation. "Hey," he said, nudging her gently, "you're doing great. Remember, every word you learn is a step closer to finding your way home." Luna clutched the book tightly and gave him a small smile. "Thanks, Max. Come on," he said, motioning her forward. "There's a lot more to discover, and the next challenge will be even more exciting." With one last look at the glowing words behind her, Luna took a deep breath and followed Max into the shadows of the forest, ready to face whatever came next. The dense trees of the forest began to thin, and Luna could hear the soft gurgling of water up ahead. Soon, she and Max stepped into a clearing where a wide river snaked through the landscape, its surface glittering like liquid gold under the magical sky. Large stepping stones dotted the river, forming a jagged path to the other side. "This is the River of Tasks," Max announced, motioning toward the stones. "To cross it, you'll need to solve a puzzle." Luna frowned, glancing at the stones. Each one had a word etched into its surface, but from where she stood, she couldn't make out the details. "What kind of puzzle?" Max crouched beside the nearest stone, brushing his fingers over the engraved letters. "Each stone has a word that represents an action verbs. You'll need to match the words to the correct movements to reach the other side." Luna hesitated, peering at the river's swift current. "And if I get it wrong, you'll just have to try again," Max said with a reassuring smile. "Don't worry, I'll guide you through the first steps. Ready?" Taking a deep breath, Luna nodded. She stepped closer to the river bank and looked down at the first stone. The word jump glowed faintly, as if waiting for her response. "Okay," Max said. "This one's easy. What does it say? Jump. Luna read aloud. Exactly. Now, what do you need to do? Luna grinned nervously. Jump. Go for it, Max urged. Bending her knees, Luna leaped onto the stone. The moment her feet touched the surface, it glowed brighter, and a soft chime rang out. I did it, she said, laughing. Great start. Now let's keep going, Max said, pointing to the next stone. This one read run. Run? Luna asked, glancing at Max. He nodded. That's right. Imagine you're running in place. Give it a try. Luna stepped onto the stone and mimicked running, her feet tapping lightly against the surface. The stone lit up, and another chime sounded. This isn't so bad, she said, gaining confidence. One by one, Luna moved across the river, reading the words on each stone and performing the corresponding actions. She jumped, clapped, turned, and even danced her way through the puzzle, laughing as she went. Max cheered her on from the river bank, offering hints when she hesitated. As she neared the final stone, the words became more challenging. The stone in front of her read balance. Luna glanced at Max, who gestured for her to try. Carefully, she stretched out her arms and walked heel-to-toe across the narrow surface, wobbling slightly but managing to keep steady. You're almost there, Max called. One more to go. The last stone was larger than the others, and the word celebrate was engraved in bold letters. Luna stepped onto it and paused, unsure what to do. Celebrate. How do I? Easy, Max interrupted. Wave your arms, cheer. Do whatever makes you feel happy. Celebrate that you've made it this far. Luna threw her arms into the air and spun in a circle, laughing as the stone beneath her feet lit up in a rainbow of colors. The river's current slowed, and a shimmering bridge appeared, connecting the last stone to the opposite bank. You did it, Max said, beaming as Luna crossed the bridge to meet him. That was amazing. Luna felt a surge of pride. I wasn't sure at first, but it was actually fun. Max nodded. See, every challenge teaches you something new. Now you know a whole set of action words. Verbs are important. They help you describe what you're doing and bring your sentences to life. Luna glanced back at the river, watching as the stones dimmed and the bridge disappeared. What's next? She asked, her excitement growing. Max grinned, his eyes sparkling with anticipation. You'll see. But first, let's review what you've learned so far. Can you name all the actions you performed? Luna thought for a moment, then began to list them. Jump, run, clap, turn, dance, balance, and celebrate. Perfect, Max said. You're ready for the next step. With a final glance at the glowing river, Luna followed Max as he led her further into the unknown, her confidence growing with each step. As Luna and Max continued their journey, the forest thinned out entirely, revealing a bustling village nestled in a valley. Cobblestone streets wound between quaint cottages, their roofs covered in golden thatch. Stalls lined the main square, brimming with colorful goods, fruits, fabrics, and trinkets. The air was filled with cheerful chatter, and everywhere Luna looked, people were talking, smiling, and gesturing. This, Max said, spreading his arms, is the village of conversations. If you want to learn how to talk like a local, this is the place to do it. Luna's eyes widened. It's beautiful, but also a little overwhelming. Max chuckled. Don't worry. Everyone here is friendly, and they love helping newcomers. Let's start with something simple. Greetings. He led Luna to a fruit stall where a kind-looking woman with rosy cheeks was arranging shiny red apples. "Watch and listen," Max whispered before stepping forward. "Hello, Mary," Max said brightly. "How are you today?" The woman, Mary, looked up with a warm smile. "Hello, Max. I'm very well, thank you. And you?" "I'm good, thank you," Max replied. He turned to Luna. "Your turn." Luna hesitated, but Max's encouraging nod gave her courage. "Hello, Mary," she said, her voice shaky. "How are you?" Mary beamed. "I'm very well, thank you. And you?" Luna paused, trying to remember the phrase Max had used. "I'm good, thank you. Perfect," Mary said, handing Luna an apple. "Welcome to the village, my dear." Luna blushed, clutching the apple. "Thank you." Max grinned. "See, that wasn't so hard. Now let's keep practicing." They moved from stall to stall, with Max guiding Luna through simple conversations. At a bakery, she learned how to order food. "I would like a loaf of bread, please," she said, mimicking Max's phrasing. The baker handed her a warm loaf, nodding approvingly. At a clothing stall, she practiced asking questions. "How much is this scarf?" she asked, pointing to a soft blue scarf. The vendor replied, "5 coins," and Luna thanked them, feeling a sense of accomplishment with each interaction. As they explored, Luna noticed that some words and phrases came more easily now. The repetition and friendly atmosphere of the village helped her feel more confident. She began to experiment with her sentences, adding new words she had picked up. "I would like an apple and a pear, please," she said at another fruit stall, earning an impressed smile from the vendor. "You're a fast learner," Max said, clearly proud. "Let's try something a bit harder." He led her to a small cafe near the center of the square. A young man with a notebook sat at one of the tables, scribbling furiously. Max approached him with a smile. "Hello, Peter. Do you have a moment?" Peter looked up, pushing his glasses up his nose. "Hello, Max. Of course. Who's your friend?" "This is Luna," Max said, gesturing to her. "She's learning how to have conversations. Could you help us?" Peter nodded and turned to Luna. "Hello, Luna. It's nice to meet you." Luna hesitated for a moment before replying, "Hello, Peter. Nice to meet you, too." Peter smiled. "Where are you from?" Luna glanced at Max for reassurance, then answered, "I'm from the library." Peter raised an eyebrow, but Max quickly added, "She means she's from far away. She's on an adventure." "Odd, I see," Peter said, chuckling. "Well, welcome to the village." After a bit more practice with Peter, Max suggested they review everything Luna had learned so far. Sitting on a bench near the village square, he quizzed her on greetings, polite phrases, and basic questions. Luna answered most of them easily, surprising even herself. "I think I'm starting to get it," she said, grinning. "You're doing great," Max replied. "Remember, conversations are like bridges, they connect you to others. The more you practice, the stronger those connections become." Luna nodded, feeling a newfound confidence. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting the village in a warm golden glow, she couldn't help but feel proud of how far she'd come. "What's next?" she asked, eager for the next challenge. Max stood and pointed to the edge of the village, where a tall fountain shimmered in the fading light. "Over there. The fountain of knowledge. It has a riddle for you." "A riddle?" Luna asked, both excited and nervous. Max smiled. It's not as scary as it sounds. Let's go. Luna followed him, ready for whatever awaited her at the fountain. The closer Luna and Max got to the shimmering fountain, the more enchanting it appeared. Water cascaded from its tears in graceful streams, catching the fading sunlight and scattering it into a rainbow of colors. At the fountain's base, intricate carvings depicted scenes of people talking, laughing, and solving puzzles together. Max stopped a few steps away and turned to Luna. "This is the fountain of knowledge," he said. "It's not just beautiful, it's alive. It will ask you a riddle, and solving it will teach you something new about language." Luna stared at the fountain, her nerves returning. "What happens if I can't solve it?" Max smiled. "Then you keep trying. The fountain is patient, and it will help you learn as long as you listen carefully. Are you ready?" Taking a deep breath, Luna nodded. "I'll try." As they approached, the fountain's water shifted, forming the faint outline of a face in its surface. A soft, melodic voice filled the air. "Greetings, traveler," it said. "I am the keeper of knowledge. To proceed, you must answer my riddle." Luna swallowed hard. "I'm ready." The fountain's voice grew clearer. "Listen carefully. I am small, yet I can grow. I am simple, yet I can describe the world." "What am I?" Luna frowned, her mind racing. "Small, but it can grow. Simple, but it can describe things." She turned to Max, but he only gave her an encouraging nod. She thought about everything she had learned in the village. Words flashed through her mind: apple, scarf, bread. Suddenly, she remembered something Max had said earlier in the forest. Words are the foundation of everything here. Luna's eyes lit up. Is the answer a word? The fountain shimmered, and its voice rang with approval. "Correct, young one. Words are the seeds of knowledge, and their power grows with use. Now, let us explore this further." A stream of water rose from the fountain and formed glowing letters in the air. Big and small appeared first, followed by tall and short. "These are adjectives," the fountain explained. "They describe the world around you. Now, can you match them to what you see?" Luna looked around. "Big. Like that tree over there," she said, pointing to a towering oak. "And small, like that flower by its roots." The fountain's water glowed, signaling her success. "Very good. Now try these. Fast and slow." Luna glanced at the bubbling water. Fast, like the river, and slow, like the clouds moving in the sky. Again, the fountain glowed. "You are learning quickly. Adjectives are powerful tools. They help you describe and compare. Let us test this further." More words appeared in the air, paired in opposites. Happy and sad, hot and cold, loud and quiet. Luna practiced using them in sentences with Max's help. "The sun is hot," she said, feeling its warmth on her face. "The water looks cold," Max added, encouraging her. "The fountain is loud," Luna said with a laugh. "But your voice is quiet." The fountain chuckled, a sound like tinkling water. "Well done. You have a keen mind and a quick tongue. Here is my final challenge." A new set of glowing words appeared. Bigger, smaller, taller, shorter. Luna recognized them as different forms of the words she had already learned. "These are comparative adjectives," the fountain explained. "They show how things relate to each other." "Can you use them?" Luna thought for a moment. "The tree is taller than the house," she said, glancing at a small cottage nearby. The flower is smaller than the rock, Max added, pointing to a stone near their feet. Excellent, the fountain said, its voice warm. You understand. Words like these will help you see the world in new ways. Keep them close, for they are valuable tools. The glowing letters dissolved into the water, and the fountain's face softened. You have done well, Luna. Your journey continues. But remember, language is your greatest ally. As the fountain's voice faded, Luna felt a surge of pride. She had faced the riddle and learned something important. Turning to Max, she grinned. That was amazing. I didn't know I could learn so much in such a short time. Max clapped her on the shoulder. You're doing great. The more you practice, the more natural it'll feel. They began walking away from the fountain, the glowing village fading behind them as they moved toward the next part of the journey. Luna clutched the book tightly, its faint shimmer reassuring her that she was on the right path. What's next? She asked, her curiosity bubbling. Max pointed to a distant structure rising above the horizon. The Castle of Directions. It's where you'll learn how to find your way in this world and in any other. With excitement and determination in her heart, Luna followed Max, ready for the challenges ahead. As Luna and Max approached the towering structure in the distance, the landscape shifted. Rolling hills flattened into an open plain, and the golden grass gave way to a cobblestone path that led directly to the castle gates. The structure loomed large, with high walls and turrets that seemed to touch the sky. A faint hum emanated from the castle, as though it were alive, waiting for their arrival. This is the Castle of Directions, Max explained as they stopped before the grand wooden doors. It's a place where you'll learn how to navigate both in this world and with your words. The massive doors creaked open as they stepped closer, revealing a grand hall illuminated by floating orbs of light. The floor was marked with intricate patterns, arrows pointing in every direction. Each arrow glowed faintly, accompanied by words like left, right, forward, and backward. A deep, resonant voice echoed through the hall. Welcome, traveler. To proceed, you must follow my instructions and trust your sense of direction. Luna glanced at Max, who gave her an encouraging nod. You've got this. Just listen carefully. The voice continued. Your first task is simple. Step forward onto the glowing square. Luna looked down and spotted a square directly in front of her. Forward, she whispered, stepping onto it. The square lit up brightly, and the voice spoke again. Good. Now turn left and take 2 steps. Luna hesitated but quickly found her bearings. She turned to her left and took 2 careful steps, her feet landing on another glowing tile. The challenges grew progressively more complex. The voice instructed her to combine movements, turn right and move forward 3 steps. Or step backward twice and turn left. Each correct movement caused the tiles to light up in celebration, while an incorrect step would dim them momentarily, prompting her to try again. Max cheered her on from the side. You're doing great. Remember, left is this way, he said, pointing, and right is the opposite. Luna laughed nervously, repeating the directions to herself as she moved. Right, left, forward. After several successful maneuvers, the voice announced a new challenge. Now, you must guide another. Use your words to lead them to the end of the path. Max stepped forward, grinning. Looks like it's my turn to follow you. Luna's confidence wavered, but Max gave her a reassuring look. I trust you. Just tell me where to go. She studied the glowing path in front of him. Okay, Max, step forward to squares. Max moved carefully, landing on the correct tiles. What's next? He asked. Turn right, then move forward 3 steps, Luna instructed, her voice gaining steadiness. Max followed her directions exactly, and the tiles glowed brighter with each step. The exercise continued until Max reached the final square, and the hall filled with a triumphant chime. The disembodied voice spoke again, its tone warm. Well done, traveler. You have demonstrated mastery of direction and instruction. These skills will serve you well on your journey. The glowing arrows faded, and a door at the far end of the hall opened, revealing a staircase spiraling upward. What's up there? Luna asked, her curiosity piqued. The next part of your adventure, Max said. But first, let's review what you've learned. They sat on a bench near the staircase, and Max quizzed her. What's the difference between left and right? Luna grinned, holding up her hands to mimic the directions. Left is this way, and right is that way. Perfect. Now, what about forward and backward? Forward means to move ahead, and backward means to move behind, she answered confidently. Max nodded approvingly. Exactly. Remember, directions aren't just for finding your way, they're also tools for giving instructions. You did an amazing job. Luna felt a swell of pride as she stood. The exercises had been challenging, but she had learned so much in such a short time. The glowing tiles, the supportive guidance of the castle's voice, and Max's encouragement had all made her feel capable. Ready to see what's next? Max asked, gesturing to the staircase. Luna tightened her grip on the book and nodded. Let's do it. As they ascended the staircase, Luna felt her confidence growing. Each challenge brought her closer to understanding not only the magical world but also her own abilities. She had a feeling the journey ahead would be even more exciting. The spiral staircase ended at a set of ornate wooden doors carved with images of flowers, trees, and geometric patterns. Max pushed them open with ease, revealing a breathtaking garden that seemed to pulse with life. Every plant glowed faintly, its colors shifting in a mesmerizing dance under the golden sky. Luna gasped as she stepped into the garden. Rows of flowers in every imaginable hue lined the winding paths, their petals forming intricate shapes. Trees with polygonal leaves towered above, and the air was filled with the soft hum of bees and the chirping of unseen birds. This is the Garden of Colors and Shapes, Max said, gesturing grandly. Here, you'll learn how to describe what you see using two important tools, colors and shapes. Luna's gaze darted from a vibrant red rose to a bush of yellow tulips. It's beautiful, she murmured. It is, Max agreed. And it's also full of hidden challenges. Your task is to describe things correctly to unlock the way forward. Luna nodded, her curiosity outweighing her nerves. Okay, where do I start? Max pointed to a glowing flower near her feet. Its petals were a deep blue, and its center formed a perfect circle. Try this one. What do you see? Luna crouched down, examining the flower. It's blue, she said, her voice uncertain. And it's a circle. Good start, Max said. But let's make it a full sentence. Try this. The flower is blue, and its center is a circle. Luna repeated the sentence, her confidence growing. The flower is blue, and its center is a circle. The flower glowed brightly in response, and a faint chime echoed through the garden. See, you're already getting the hang of it, Max said. Let's find more. They walked deeper into the garden, and Luna began to describe everything she saw. She pointed to a tree with triangular leaves. The leaves are green, and they are triangles. At a bush of roses, she practiced combining descriptions. The roses are red, and their petals are small circles. Each correct description caused the garden to respond with light and sound, encouraging her to continue. As they moved along the path, Luna noticed a group of glowing stones arranged in a pattern. Each stone bore a simple shaped square, triangle, circle, and was painted in a different color. "This is your next challenge," Max said. "You'll need to sort these stones based on what I describe." The disembodied voice from the castle echoed again, guiding her. "Find a red circle and place it in the center." Luna scanned the stones, quickly spotting the correct one. She picked it up and placed it in the center of the pattern. The stone glowed brightly, and the voice continued, "Now, find a green square." With each instruction, Luna carefully identified the correct stones, repeating the descriptions aloud to herself. A green square, a yellow triangle, a blue circle. When the final stone was placed, the entire garden lit up in a cascade of colors, and a hidden door at the far end of the path swung open. "You did it," Max said, clapping. "You're getting faster and more confident with every challenge." Luna felt a swell of pride as she looked back at the glowing stones and vibrant garden. "I didn't think I'd be able to remember all of that, but it's starting to feel natural." Max nodded. "That's the magic of practice. Colors and shapes are everywhere, and knowing how to describe them helps you understand the world and be understood by others." As they walked toward the open door, Luna glanced down at the mysterious book still clutched in her hands. Its cover shimmered faintly, as if approving her progress. "What's next?" she asked, her excitement building. Max smiled and pointed to the path beyond the door. "The final challenge before the library hall, but don't worry, you're ready for it." With one last look at the colorful garden, Luna stepped through the door, her confidence growing with each step. The door from the Garden of Colors and Shapes led Luna and Max into a grand, domed hall that shimmered with golden light. Tall, arched windows lined the circular room, each one depicting a scene from Luna's journey. The forest of words, the river of tasks, the village of conversations, and the Garden of Colors and Shapes. At the center of the hall stood a large pedestal with a glowing book resting on it. "This is the library hall," Max explained as they stepped inside. "It's where everything you've learned comes together." Luna approached the pedestal cautiously, feeling the weight of the moment. "What do I have to do?" "The book will guide you," Max said. "This is your final trial, Luna. It will test how well you've mastered the lessons so far." As if responding to Max's words, the glowing book opened on its own, its pages flipping rapidly until they stopped on a blank page. Words began to appear, written in shimmering gold. "Describe the world around you. Use the words you have learned to bring it to life." Luna frowned, glancing at Max. "What does that mean?" Max smiled. "It's asking you to use what you've learned to tell a story. Look around the hall and describe what you see." Taking a deep breath, Luna looked at her surroundings. She started with something simple. "The windows are tall and colorful," she said aloud, watching as the words appeared on the glowing page. "The floor is shiny and smooth. The light is golden." The book glowed brightly, encouraging her to continue. Luna began to walk around the hall, describing everything in greater detail. "There is a big pedestal in the center of the room," she said, her voice growing steadier. "The book on the pedestal is glowing." As she spoke, the room seemed to respond, each object she described becoming more vivid. The windows sparkled, the floor gleamed, and the golden light grew warmer. "Now try comparing," Max suggested gently. Use the words like bigger or smaller. Luna nodded. The pedestal is taller than me, she said, glancing at the structure. The windows are bigger than the door. The glowing book shimmered again, its pages turning to reveal a new challenge. This time, it displayed a sentence with missing words. The flowers in the garden are underscore and underscore. Luna smiled, recognizing the task. The flowers in the garden are red and small, she said confidently. The sentence completed itself on the page, and the book turned to another. The river is underscore than the stream. The river is wider than the stream, Luna answered, watching as the glowing letters filled the blank. With each completed sentence, Luna's confidence grew. The book began to present more complex challenges, asking her to describe people, actions, and emotions. How would you describe Max? Appeared on the page. Luna glanced at her companion, who gave her an encouraging smile. Max is friendly and helpful, she said. He is also patient and smart. The book glowed brilliantly, its pages flipping to the final challenge. A blank page appeared with the words, "Now, create your own story." Luna hesitated. My own story? Max nodded. Just think of everything you've seen and learned. Tell the book about your journey. Taking a deep breath, Luna began. I came to this magical world through a book, she said, her voice steady. I learned about words in the forest, actions at the river, and conversations in the village. I explored colors and shapes in the garden and discovered how to describe everything I see. As she spoke, the glowing book filled with her words, line by line. The pages shimmered, and the room around her seemed to hum with energy. When she finished, the book closed with a soft click, and a warm light enveloped the hall. You've done it, Max said, his voice filled with pride. You've mastered the lessons of this world. The pedestal began to glow, and the book in Luna's hands shimmered brighter than ever. She felt a gentle tug, as if the world itself was guiding her somewhere new. Is this the end? Luna asked, her heart pounding. Max smiled. Not the end, just the beginning. You've learned so much, and now it's time to take that knowledge back with you. Before Luna could respond, the light around her grew blinding. She felt herself being lifted, the world of the library hall fading into golden brilliance. Luna blinked as the golden light dimmed, and she felt solid ground beneath her feet. When her vision cleared, she found herself standing back in the familiar aisles of her town library. The towering shelves and soft hum of fluorescent lights felt strangely comforting after her magical journey. Clutched in her hands was the book that had started it all. Its cover shimmered faintly, as though still holding the magic of the world she had just left. The title, Adventures, seemed brighter than before, as if it were thanking her for completing its challenges. Luna glanced around, half expecting to see Max standing nearby. But she was alone, the library quiet except for the distant whispers of other visitors. She placed a hand on her chest, feeling the steady thrum of her heartbeat. Had it all been real? Her thoughts were interrupted by the soft voice of Mrs. Greenwood, the librarian. Ah, there you are, Luna. I was starting to wonder where you'd gone off to. Luna turned, trying to keep her voice steady. I was just exploring, she said, holding the book tightly. Mrs. Greenwood's eyes twinkled as she noticed the shimmering cover. That's a special one, isn't it? It's been on that shelf for ages, waiting for the right person to pick it up. Luna hesitated. You know about it? The librarian smiled mysteriously. Some books have a little more magic than others. I think it found its perfect reader in you. Luna felt a warm flash of pride but didn't press further. She had a feeling Mrs. Greenwood knew more than she was letting on, but some mysteries were best left untouched. She carried the book to a nearby table and opened it, half expecting to see glowing pages or hear the echo of the magical world's voice. Instead, the pages were filled with blank spaces and faint outlines of words, as though waiting for something. "Describe the world around you," she whispered, remembering the book's final challenge. Taking a pen from her bag, Luna began to write. She described the library's tall shelves, the quiet rustle of turning pages, and the faint scent of old books. To her surprise, the blank spaces on the page filled with her words, glowing softly before settling into elegant black ink. Luna's chest swelled with pride. The lessons she had learned weren't just for the magical world, they were tools she could use in her own life. She smiled, remembering Max's words. "Language is your greatest ally." The library door creaked open, and a group of children entered, their excited whispers filling the air. Luna watched them wander among the shelves, their eyes wide with wonder. She thought about how she might share her journey with others, helping them find the same confidence she had gained. She closed the book and placed it gently back on the shelf, its glow fading as it nestled among the other volumes. She wasn't sure if she would see the magical world again, but she knew its lessons would stay with her forever. As Luna left the library, she felt a new sense of purpose. The world was full of words, colors, shapes, and stories waiting to be discovered, and she was ready to embrace them all.